Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to FilmBusters.
FilmBusters.
I don't think we've ever done a perfect introduction like that for a few weeks.
Do you know what? I was actually going to suggest, like, halfway through that when we said welcome to FilmBusters, we should all say an individual word, but I didn't want to cock it all up because it was going so smoothly.
Next
Like,
time.
Welcome to
Welcome to
FilmBusters.
film. Yeah, but that's 4, isn't it?
Welcome to FilmBusters.
Each say a
FilmBusters is
syllable.
all one word.
Do we count FilmBusters as one word?
I would. It's 2
Is
syllables.
Ghostbusters one word or 2? Let me look on the IMDb and see how it laid out. I
One
believe
word.
it's
3
one.
syllables, isn't
One
it?
word. We're not talking about syllables.
It's one word.
One
It's
word,
One word.
many syllables.
Yeah.
What a great conversation we're having already. This is exhilarating.
We've started off perfectly.
We've got to get to the bottom of these important questions.
We have. Let's start the show. Let me get into the quiz.
Let's. Oh yeah, the quiz. I totally forgot about that. I'm actually excited. The last 2 times I forgot we'd do the quiz, and it's quite exciting.
Do you know what? This is the only reason I do these podcasts is to do the quiz.
Last time you got so cross, man.
He didn't want to speak. He was on protest.
Straight.
The strike
Oh,
was
yeah,
only like
strike.
half 50% joke. 50% you were so pissed off. You were a sore loser.
Let's do 3 questions.
Shut up. For anyone who hasn't listened to this podcast regularly, or if this is their first podcast, we do a quiz at the beginning of every podcast. And basically, I ask the boys a question, and if they get it right, they get a point. If they don't, I get the point.
Very well explained.
Ben is on 32, Adam's on 33, and I am on 35.
Shameful.
Yeah, 3
He
ahead.
cheats. He cheats, just to let you all know.
Beautiful.
He picks all the hard questions for me and Adam that he knows we won't get.
Well, we'll see after these group of questions, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
Are you ready for the first question?
If I get them both right, I go above Adam. That's what I'm aiming for. It's
That'd
the
be
best
nice,
I can do
wouldn't it?
today.
That'd be nice.
It
Right,
would
here we
be
go.
lovely.
Here we go.
Come on.
Which actor played gunslinger Roland Deschain, who roamed in
Idris
Old
Elba.
West? Well done.
Come on. Come on.
How do you know that? What film was that?
Wait, The Gunslinger is the first book
Oh,
in
in
the
the
Dark Tower
Tower-
series by Stephen
yeah.
King.
I'll finish the question for Adam. Which actor played gunslinger Roland Deschain, who roamed an Old West-like landscape in search of the Dark Tower, in hope that reaching it would preserve his dying world?
Well done.
Well done. Well done, Ben.
Well
Sorry.
done, Ben.
I just think there's still a lot of cheating going on here.
Hey,
Sorry.
listen, you either know Idris or not.
Yeah, sorry, Adam. Don't go on strike again.
Don't go on strike, please.
Not quite
Right,
yet.
here we go.
I'll-
Let's go for the second question. And
Come
the
on.
last and final question.
Come on.
Which 2015 superhero film was nominated for 5 Raspberry Awards, including Worst Picture, Worst Screen Combo, and Worst Prequel, Remake, Rip-Off, or Sequel?
Justice League. No, bollocks to that shit. No, I know
That's
it now.
wrong. 2015
Oh, for
superhero
fuck's
film.
sake.
Can you repeat the question?
No, don't repeat
Which
it. It's bollocks.
2015 superhero film was nominated
Oh,
for
for
5
fuck's sake.
Raspberry Awards, including
Yeah.
Worst Picture, Worst Screen Combo, and Worst Prequel, Remake, Rip-Off, or Sequel?
Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're both wrong.
Come on, son.
You're
No,
both
what?
wrong. It's Fantastic Four.
Really?
What?
Yes, I get that point.
Oh, piss
Oh,
off.
motherfucker.
That's bollocks.
That was
Because you
easy.
said Justice League, and then you were like, oh no, fuck it, I got it wrong. I thought,
It's a
okay, it's got to
decoy,
be
Ben.
similar
It's
to
a decoy.
that.
It's a decoy.
You idiot.
No,
I had
sorry,
you
guys,
in the palm
it
of
was
my hand. Let's do
Fantastic
another
Four.
question.
That was a terrible film, Fantastic Four.
I'm sure it was just as bad as Batman vs Superman.
Nowhere near.
Let's do another
Oh.
question then.
No, shut up. We're going to the news.
Are you 3 points
am
ahead
on
of me and Adam now?
36,
Yeah, it's disgraceful, isn't it?
and you're both
Oh,
on
mate.
33.
We should be ashamed of ourselves. And
You should be ashamed
Adam,
of yourselves.
I
Adam,
think
you
Ben-
know superhero films. You should have got that.
I never saw Fantastic Four. No one saw
You
Fantastic
watch all
Four.
of them. You watch all of them.
No one
You
saw
let me down.
Fantastic Four.
You let me down, but I'm very glad to be neck and neck with you again. It's been a long time.
We're in the same bed now, Ben.
Just like that time on the couch. Paul was in the top floor, just like when we stayed at his house. That's where he is at the moment.
top
And you and
floor.
I are on the bed with the dog.
People won't be listening to this before the watershed, so we can't tell too much more.
That's true. Do
Disgusting.
you remember that? Do you remember the dog?
I remember the dog.
Yes, I remember my dog.
It could whistle, you know. Terrible thing it did. We can't talk about it.
He got his whistle out as well.
Yeah, and the rest.
Don't you touch my dog up.
He touched us.
this conversation, people would be like, what the hell am I listening to? Let's go to the news.
Excuse me, can you pass me that newspaper from over there? I want to know what's going on at the pictures. Thank you.
The first thing I'm going to talk about is Zombieland 2 is coming next year with all original cast returning.
Will Bill Murray be in it?
Well, he's dead now, isn't he? He might come
He's
back
zombie.
as a zombie. He could come back as a zombie, technically, couldn't he? Did they kill him as a zombie?
Yeah, no, he's alive at the end, I think, and they're playing Ghostbusters with him when he's in the zombie mode.
Well, 100% he should come back, surely.
I very much like that film, but Woody Harrelson sacrificed himself at the end of that film, I'm sure.
Nah, he didn't. He found his Twinkies, didn't he?
Yes, that's true, but I think he died after he found the Twinkies. I think. Anyway, it was a good film. I enjoyed that. I look forward to a sequel of that.
It was a good film.
Yeah.
Very much enjoy.
Very much enjoy.
Adam hasn't been talking much. He's on strike again, surely.
Adam's on strike. Do you know that there's one person in the main cast who looks like Adam? Can you guess who it is?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg, the only
No,
other guy in it.
You're wrong. It's Emma
Woody Harrelson.
Stone. It's Emma Stone. If you look at her features, she's got Adam's face. Adam, if you Google
take
Emma
that.
Stone, you really look like her in the mirror.
I'll take that.
You have her nose, eyebrows, and cheeks.
Do you
Very good
compare me to? Do you have pictures of me comparing me to many celebrities?
Do you know what's weird? Yeah, I do. If you shaved off her hair for the most part and styled it the way you do, it could be your twin sister. I mean it.
I'll just have to go ginger for a bit.
He would love that. Dance with Ryan Gosling in La La Land.
Yeah.
I'll be humming along, be whistling like the dog.
City of Stars.
And you share that look with Ryan Gosling at the end.
I wouldn't break his heart. I'd treat him right.
Aww,
Oh,
that's cute.
anyway, enough of this. This isn't. What's Emma Stone even got to do with the topic? Oh yeah, Zombieland.
Zombieland. Should we go to the next piece?
Please.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna. This is a moment where I'm gonna say this could segue into news we don't give a fuck about, because you got to
Now,
decide
that means it definitely is in that
whether
category already. Then
you want it to be in there or not.
Go on.
Big Trouble in Little China sequel starring The Rock.
Right, hang on a minute. It's not news we don't give a fuck about, and I'll tell you why it's not.
Go on.
This is very fortuitous timing. On Friday night,
Yep,
I watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time since I was 15, 16.
I remember.
did you do the remake? They re-released them, haven't they?
No, they haven't re-released them. He's talking about the fact that there's going to be a remake.
Yeah, but they did like a 4K version. They just released them.
Oh, I see what you mean about polish. Yeah. But that's a mighty fine film. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's so bizarre. It's weird. It's culty. It's like made with no budget, but also it like pushes its budget to the max. It's John Carpenter, Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall. It's got this great cast. It's really wacky. And if they do it with The Rock now, they're going to try and emulate that, and it's just going to fall flat. It ain't going to be no good. And do you know what the key thing is? Have you both seen Big Trouble in Little China?
I have.
No,
Adam, I think you really like it. Actually, I think you really like it.
I really
But-
like The Thing, but that's all the John Carpenter I've watched.
Yeah, but it's like it's not really a horror. It kind of is, but it's kind of more comedy, but not like slapstick. But it's quite weird. And the whole thing is, Kurt Russell's the only white guy in it. The rest is like an all Chinese cast. But the studio kept saying to John Carpenter, "Oh, you better make sure that Kurt Russell is seen as the hero in this. He needs to be the hero." And John Carpenter was like, "Fuck that!" Every time Kurt Russell went to do something heroic, it falls flat, because he was like, the studio wanted me to make Indiana Jones with this film, and I'm not going to do it. So all the Chinese people are the hero in it, and Kurt Russell never is, and it's just interesting. So
That is
if they do The
interesting.
Rock in it, it won't be like that. They'll make Rock the hero, you know?
Yeah, of course. I want to watch
You
that
spoke
again.
very quickly then, Ben. You got very excited and spoke very quickly.
Far too quickly, I'm sorry.
I watched it a long time ago. I don't have much memories of it.
He has big trouble remembering it.
Very well
Big
done.
trouble in his little head.
In my little head.
Big Trouble in Little Paulie's head. That's very funny.
You can just hear his whistling dog instead.
So you didn't really clarify whether this was news you don't give a fuck about or not.
Well, I do care about it because I kind of like. I feel like I have to go see it, but I kind of feel like they're going to do what I said and make him heroic, and they'll take away the essence of what works so well with it. So I'm
What about
not
they did
very
the film
excited for it.
scene for scene, word for word, shot for shot?
I
just
would
with The
blow
Rock?
my brains out.
In the cinema.
Yeah, I would. I would.
You've
take
done
the
it
gun
too many
ready.
times already, mate. You're dead already.
The minute the credits finished rolling, I'd wait till the credits rolled and the lights came up, and as they're cleaning the popcorn, they'd have to clean my brains up from the floor besides.
Honestly,
Yes.
though, I'm not. The reason I didn't put this in news, I don't give a fuck about. I know Adam doesn't give a fuck about because he hasn't seen the original. But I know The Rock has got this thing about him at the moment where he's making these crap films, but
Yeah.
he has made some good films. Like that Jumanji film he made. That is a remake, and I quite enjoyed it. And this could be good. So I'm not going to say it's going to be terrible straight away.
No, I mean, not necessarily terrible, but I mean, I've never seen a film with him in that I've liked.
About Fast and Furious.
No, I don't watch any of those.
I got to say, he's in the worst film I think I've ever seen in my life, which is Pain and Gain.
Yeah, Mark Kermode hates that.
It was
I thought it was fine just for the
film.
fact that it was a true story.
I know, but
still terrible. There's a story that doesn't need to be told.
It's quite fun and wacky.
let me say one bit of news.
Go on, Ben.
We all had a look at the new Joaquin Phoenix first pictures from set of him as the Joker.
Oh, yes.
How do you both feel about it? I didn't know what to expect.
Very
He looks
excited.
like he's acting as a child.
But like visually, of like him, how he looks.
Some skinny, greasy-looking guy.
Mm.
Little bit of an odd job. Not sure about this whole thing with the clown when he comes and throws his nose away.
That bit looks a bit too corny.
Yeah, it looks a bit silly, but I am excited for it.
Who's directing it? Remind me again.
Todd Phillips.
Oh, I thought Scorsese was involved in this at once upon a time.
Yes, a producer.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So
But-
the director of Hangover and all that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
Oh.
War Dogs.
Oh.
But the set in the background looks very cartoonish. It looks very set
it's a
up
comic.
almost like like a very comic book set in the background. You can almost tell it's a set, but it's not. It looks like it should be on Friends or something like that, like when they walk down the street and stuff.
All I hope
see.
is that this film is going to be like 18 rated.
Mm.
And I think they might go that way.
Quick
That'd be
question:
nice.
Was this film bought out, or the idea of this film bought out before they started doing the DC universe? Because what is the point of making a Joker origin film that has nothing to do with the DC universe, or is it just a bit of fun on the side?
This is their they're basically branching off to some. Well, I think they've got a name for it, or they've said they've got a name for it called DC Dark, which is basically like another label off of DC that's not connected to the universe, but they can just basically make random films that are not connected to anything, just one-off films.
This is like
Okay.
the Mummy and all that shit that you were talking about before.
Oh no! That's the Dark Universe.
Oh, God, excuse me.
DC
The
Dark,
Dark
and
Universe is all the Dark Universe is all the old school monsters like Frankenstein and the Mummy.
No,
DC
I hate
Dark. DC Dark is spin-off DC films where they can just they can get directors in with their own creative license and just do a spin on a DC comic film.
I don't want to talk about it.
You can't say a bad thing about DC in front of Paul.
I don't
You
want
can
to
say-
talk
you can
about
say whatever
Dark
you want.
Universe.
I don't mind whatever you
You
can
must
say whatever
finish
you
with
want
a
about
good
DC.
statement.
DC Dark is fine, but I don't want to talk... Oh,
I was
I
going to
like
set the
it.
whistling dog on you.
Adam, you're obsessed with this dog
Oh
whistle
no!
now.
Don't stop talking about his whistling dog.
It's gonna be a continuing theme.
And
We're
people
gonna-
at home be like, we don't get the inside joke.
We should
about
turn this
thing.
into we should turn it into a drinking game. Every time I mention a whistling dog, you have to do a shot.
Every time you say whistling dog, Adam, you're going to go silent on the edit.
No, I'm going to say it so often that you can't edit around it.
Say whistling dog in the middle of like a really poignant sentence when you're talking about stuff.
Should we move on to news we don't give a fuck about?
Yes.
News we don't give a fuck about.
News we don't give a fuck.
Right, so Sylvester Stallone has come out with an Instagram post.
Already
saying
I
that
don't give a fuck.
Random Rambo 5 is coming out soon.
I swear they've already done Rambo 5, haven't they?
I thought they had as well. I thought
No,
Rambo...
that was Rambo 4. That was Rambo, wasn't it?
Do you know something? I never watched any of them.
I don't
what
think I've
is-
actually
What
seen
is
any of
Stallone
them.
actually doing? All he does is just keep making the same films. Just do something
Yeah.
else already.
Look, for him, it's just a moneymaker, isn't it?
All he do is stacking paper.
Who's watching
Yeah.
it?
People will. You know people will go out. Just like when Rocky and the Creed films, people will keep going out on that thing.
Creed
It's
was a
money
decent
maker.
film.
I'm sure it was. I never got to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
It was fine.
But for him, it's just a moneymaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
He hasn't really got no talent actor. What can he do now? See, at least Arnold Schwarzenegger tried to do a couple of like aged films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's aged on a
terrible
bit.
way to explain
Like
it.
Mickey
You know.
Rourke.
Yes, but forget this.
With Schwarzenegger, it's more like people are bringing him back to do these kind of films, like Terminator and stuff. And it's like, that's fine. People can make their own spin on it. But this is Stallone going, I want to make this film again.
Yeah.
It's
totally.
like, stop it, Stallone.
Yeah.
And it's just basically him. It's like, this is the perfect character for him because he can just go, and just kill people.
Adam, you would like to watch this movie?
I haven't even seen the other one, so Whistling Dog.
Fucking hell.
Anyway,
This
that
movie
was
was
the
the
news we don't give a
trailers.
fuck about. We
This
certainly
goes to
didn't.
trailers. Trailers!
Let's talk trailers.
I don't live in a caravan, so why are you showing me that trailer trash?
We watched one trailer this week. One.
Yes.
Well, you've gone straight into that.
Because I've got to say, and the film was called, somebody say it quickly.
The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah,
Now,
that team.
I fucking love this trailer
Do you?
so much.
It's so Coen Brothers, though, isn't
You
it?
do
really
realise
is,
it's a
ain't
Netflix film, Ben, so it's probably going to be shit.
Yeah, but it's the Coen brothers, so I don't think it will.
I think it's so random that Coen Brothers are making a Netflix film.
Yeah.
The only
I
thing
agree.
is about this film, this trailer, is I feel like I've seen the film already without even watching it. It feels like the film itself has been done a lot of times, or so many times, or whatever you want to phrase that.
What is the film, though? I don't think it even shows what the film is, the trailer.
It's just a Western film, and people shoot at each other, and then there's a guy getting hung quite a few times.
It's definitely not
It's-
just a Western.
You know the Coens, they always, like, whatever film they do, they're always like pastiching films that come before. Like, they
Yeah, of
love
course.
the genre, and there's like, we know how the genre works, and we're going to sort of make it oddball. Like the whole Fargo thing, that they generated that whole Minnesota Nice thing. This will just be a bit wacky and memorable.
Is it both of them doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever work independently of each other.
Not that I
think
know
they've
of, no.
done one or two, haven't they?
I think the way that they do it sometimes is on the credits, if they put directed by Ethan, they'll do written by Joel, even though they've both done both
Because
things.
you can't be nominated for an Oscar if there's been more than one director or something like that, isn't there?
Is that right?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like it could be right.
I think that might be just on the Oscar, on the directing nomination, but they can't be a joint directing award for both of them.
Now, that's interesting, and that probably is the reason they do it then. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it
and I
looked
look
fun,
forward to
didn't it?
being able to watch that very soon.
It should
Fun
be
and
good.
light-hearted.
Next month, no, November it's out, isn't it?
Is it next month?
Would you go to the cinema to see it, or would you watch it on Netflix?
No, I'll be watching it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of releasing it in the cinema.
Well, then they can be submitting for Oscars, can't they?
True.
True. Pardon
What's
me.
your favourite Coen Brothers film while we hear them?
Oh, wow. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Beach Bum, getting ready to play Beach Bum as the trailer I react to, and I've just seen who it's directed by, so that
Yes,
might change
I
things
knew
slightly.
this would interest you.
Yes,
See, I
so-
knew it would interest you.
Yeah,
You've changed your
Now-
mind now, haven't you?
slightly, yeah. What did you ask, Adam?
I said, what's your favourite Coen Brothers film, but you ignored
Oh,
me.
Big
so-
Lebowski, of course. Big
I was going
Lebowski,
to say Big
every day.
Lebowski.
Yeah, Big Lebowski, but I have a real love for Burn After Reading.
Interesting. I was never too keen on that one.
There's something about it, I just love it.
I do like it. It's a good, quirky, fun film.
Yeah.
What's Adam's favourite?
Big Lebowski.
Is no one's favourite is Miller's Crossing?
I watched it once and I don't remember it being very memorable.
Nah, there was only one memorable thing in it, and it's that the hat keeps blowing all the way through the film. That's all I remember.
Do you know what would have been more memorable? If they put a whistling dog in it.
It would. And they should have called it Miller's Whistling Dog Crossing.
Memphis the Whistle.
Yeah. No one will get the Memphis reference because no one knows that Memphis is the dog.
No, you didn't mention that, Adam. You fucked up.
Well,
You
they'll
should
get
have
it
said
eventually.
starring Memphis as...
The dog.
Forget this. This is going nowhere.
Right, seeing as you've mentioned it, shall we move on to Ben Reacts to a Trailer?
Hello, Ben. Are you going to react to this trailer?
Yes, you're gonna react to a trailer.
Now, before I watch this trailer, it's only 1 minute and 16 seconds, but I've looked at the thumbnail. It's Zac Efron with a stupid shaved beard, so I was ready to hate it, but I've just seen in the small print, it says, new film by Harmony Korine, and I'll talk about that afterwards. So let's watch this trailer. 1 minute and 16 seconds. The Beach Bum. Here we go. It's taking a long time to start. Here we go. Oh, Matthew McConaughey as well. Matthew McConaughey looks exactly like how James Franco looked in Spring Breakers that Harmony Korine did. Only a bit fatter. This already just looks like standard Korine. There's like lots of colours, neon light, drugs, Snoop Dogg, alcohol. Yeah, this is a typical Harmony Korine. I don't know how to commentate on this. Like, there's like 6 shots every second. It's going so fast. Luckily, Zac Efron's barely appeared yet. Only very quickly. This is just a drug trip of a film. Zac Efron's barely in it, which is a good thing. And Martin Lawrence, he's brought Martin Lawrence back. Fuck. Martin Lawrence, man. Alright, that trailer was over super quick, but that's insane. I would actually probably go and see that now.
I would as well.
I was so ready not to.
I thought it looked quite good.
It's only because I know Harmony Korine's previous stuff that, like, if I didn't know Harmony Korine, I would look at that and I'd probably go, fuck that.
Nah, see, I didn't even realise it was him.
I was very interested until the point where it popped up and said it had been directed by the person who did Spring Breakers.
But, you know, the thing about Harmony Korine, right, is he started out doing some really weird shit, but an amazing fucking film that he did, which is so fucked up and bizarre that you have to see it. It's called Trash Humpers.
Yeah.
And did you watch this, Paul?
No, I know about it, but I haven't watched the film yet.
It's bizarre as fuck. I mean, it's just bizarre, man. He does very bizarre films, and Gumbo. They're just weird and kind of horrible.
Mm.
But Spring Breakers I never saw because I thought I don't like the look of that because that just looked a little too...
I started watching Spring Breakers and I turned it off because I was like, it was loads of women being crass. I didn't like it.
Yes, and it struck me as him just like leching over the women rather than actually making a good film.
Yeah, it was all very sexual and didn't like it.
There was one thing I said to Paul before you came on, Ben, and I said it looks like a bit like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but just like a modern day twist on it. If they were to make it today.
That's true. You're right.
Just a weird film, just full of
playing
drugs
that kind
and
of
colours.
character.
Yeah. It definitely plays out like a drug trip, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I cannot believe the most shocking thing about that and actually makes me want to go watch that is that he's brought Martin Lawrence back into films, which I have not seen in so long.
You're a bad boy.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to be doing a Bad Boys film, though, isn't he?
Oh god.
They're bringing that back as well.
Martin was in a lot of trouble. He had legal problems. I can't remember what they all were, but...
Was he being a bad boy?
What was it? He had some trouble with something. I don't know if he did something bad.
Was he in trouble in China?
He's just bringing all the jokes in. They're just all falling flat.
I see, yeah. This is all terrible. I don't know what he did wrong. Anyway, we'd go and see that, I guess.
Yeah, I'll go see that.
I don't know that it will be a particularly amazing film, but it would be worth the experience, I think.
Indeed. It will be an experience.
Matthew McConaughey can soothe you.
Matthew McConaughey.
I do like Matthew McConaughey.
I started liking him, and then I feel like he went back on himself again.
Only slightly, because he went through a phase of doing like really like Oscar-worthy films, and now he's
now he's gone back to that. And just because you can transform yourself by putting weight on and stuff, don't make you a good actor. You have to actually be able to play a good role as well. But actually, I kind of like him. I can't say nothing too much about him.
He's good in Killer Joe. I like that film.
Oh yes,
yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, put that drumstick in your mouth.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom's doing that on stage at the moment.
Oh really?
Yeah, in West End.
I need to see that again.
Spend 60 quid on get the ticket and go see Orlando Bloom put the chicken leg in someone's mouth.
I don't want to see Orlando. I want to see Matthew again.
You want to see him with a fried chicken leg, of course.
Yes, around his groin area.
Oh, can you imagine every night acting it out? Your mouth would be so greasy at the end of the night, every night. Just like Paul's throat after he eats fish and chips. Paul's throat, he puts all the fish and chips and the newspaper down his throat and somehow swallows it up. I don't know how he does that.
Like a big cone of just fish and chips.
I know.
That was a nice little callback, Ben. To
It was
the
a nice
end of our
callback.
last podcast.
Not
Only
everyone
true
will have
fans.
got that. Only the true fans.
After they sat through all that shit to get to that.
That was a mental one.
That was like a Marvel
podcast.
thing at the end of the credits. It's just you talking
That post-credit
shit
sequence for the podcast listeners.
about fish and chips.
Right,
Come on,
should we get a little more serious now and move
Please.
on to the main event?
The main event. Here is our feature topic, plus Adam might do a rubbish plot summary.
Are you fucking serious?
Can I just preface this whole conversation by saying that we are 3 white heterosexual males who are about to fucking mansplain to everyone else about women in films. We appreciate the irony and the ridiculousness of us doing it, but it's better than us just not talking about it, so we're going to talk about it.
Yes, of course you should talk about it. You've got to put it out in the world.
Absolutely.
To start with, I want you guys to tell me a film that you think badly represents a woman.
Badly represents a woman?
Yeah.
80% of films out there.
I know. It's bad, isn't it?
Yep.
I found a website that basically, there was about 22 different stereotypes of women that put or portrayed in films. And if you look through that list, you'll be like, that is every you can name any film, or pretty much every film, and it'd be like, okay, that is one of those. It's like, it's all one-dimensional characters that basically have some kind of story arc that basically revolves around a man.
Exactly. Yeah. In one way or another, it revolves around a man.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying that every film out there. There are a few that...
But most.
Yeah, but most. Like, there are a few that properly represent a woman, or not even represent a woman, just not even bring into the forefront of anyone's mind that this is a female and this is why she's in the film. It's just films just need to have a woman in a film without
it being about her as a woman.
Yeah. Why don't you give us a bad example then? Why don't you give us a film with a bad example?
The Little Mermaid.
What, the cartoon?
Yeah, the Little Mermaid cartoon. She wants to get to this man who's on the land, and she gives up her voice to get a nice pair of legs. Right? Yeah. And she thinks that's fine.
But a lot of Disney films are probably the worst for it.
Yeah, Disney films.
All Disney films.
Yeah, Disney films are bad. Apart from the recent ones like Frozen, really well represents women. It's all about.
I haven't seen it. I believe so.
It's nothing about men. There's a man who's the bad guy in it, who basically tries to manipulate the woman, and the other guy is like a sidekick. It's
about two sisters, really, isn't it?
It's about two sisters and the bond between them, and they don't actually need any man in it.
Yeah. So maybe what you're saying then is, because if Disney's starting to do that now, then maybe this is the tides are turning. Because if kids watch these films, little girls and little boys watch these films now, then when they're getting older, they will learn to appreciate and respect women more, and respect women being their own creatures rather than creatures that exist for men.
100%. I think Disney and Pixar are probably the only medium right now who's actually made that change.
But I feel Disney are probably the starting up of most of the problems with women in cinema.
It's very true.
Well, probably, yeah, exactly. But you have to start change somewhere, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. For me personally, I don't think that film can do it, and film is still so far behind. You said something. I think you said it on the last podcast. You said that, or maybe you said this in a conversation. Either way, it's worth talking about here. You said that because of all the Me Too stuff that's coming out now, and rightly so, Hollywood is now going to make a shitload of films that are female protagonists, female leads and whatnot, but they'll be making it for the wrong reason, which is in response to this, because they know that everyone will rush out and part with their money to go and see it. So essentially it's a money maker. And a few things will win Oscars in the next couple of years, potentially, with strong female leads, and then it will go away. And that's bad, because that's just fucking reactionary.
I don't think it will go away as such. I think it will bring in a new audience of film. There'll be a different audience that might go to the cinema to see these films, and they might capture those audiences, so those films will continue to be made. They won't be made in the same scale. There might not be as many as there is coming out, but there'll still be those films made, and it still will start to change. It's a positive start.
Do you know film is too far behind TV in this respect?
Yeah.
Because TV are already, they've got whole fucking female shows, strong female leads, and it's not just like one-offs, and it's not like typical images of femininity. Yeah. I'm thinking about shows that I've watched in the last month alone, right? Shows that I've been watching in the last month alone. Glow.
Yeah.
True story, yeah, but it's brilliant. There's two male characters in there, but they're on the sideline. The women steal the show. Just like if typically it would be a male storyline with a couple of women on the side with side bits, but it's about the women. Sharp Objects with Amy Adams. That's fucking female driven, and it doesn't conform to any sense of how women should appear on screen at all. Even things like The Affair, you've got a 50% split, females and males on that. Homeland, you've got Carrie Mathison is the lead in that. Top of the Lake, which is this Australian one that I was watching. Something like Big Little Lies, which I haven't seen, but I know is meant to be like incredible. It's changing, and it's regular on
That's
TV.
because TV's more independent. I feel like it's easier to get an independent TV show out there with independent thoughts because of the time process it takes to film a TV show, and also TV has to be flooded more, for example, because the cinema, what is it, like 5 films might come out each week.
Yeah.
Whereas TV, you've got 100 shows in that week because there's so many slots to fill and so many different channels and there's so many different people, and especially with channels like Netflix, for example, you have free roam to do what you want. They send you away, you do your bit, they just put it on their site.
And they
don't have to give you a prime time slot. So there's each Friday there might be 2, 3, 4 prime time shows that are coming out now, written by different people for different people.
It is a lot better. Like it's probably more to the fact as well that with TV they have more chance to develop a good character, right? But with film, it's like, okay, we can't make this character complex like a real woman would be. We got to just make him a stereotypical. Everyone can understand this woman because she's following a stereotypical route in her life, and everyone can grasp that. It's fine.
Yeah,
that's what they're more like.
Yeah. When
they make someone with a lot more depth, people just can't grasp it, and it's stupid.
I don't think people can't grasp it. I think people think that they won't grasp it and they're too scared to risk it.
No, but people like fucking go to these films and fucking love them, but they don't actually think about what they're watching.
No, I know that, but that's what drives me so nuts with like the typical films, because when women are in them, they mainly fucking exist as a love interest or someone who needs to be saved or can't help themselves. It's like, I'm bored with that shit. It goes back to our conversation in May about sex scenes. I don't want to see that shit. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's not, this stuff is boring. It's boring as well. The women don't want to be playing those fucking roles, and that's what I say. I hate women in film for the most part. Nothing to do with the fact that they are women, but because of how the men have written these fucking characters. And for the most part, the women, young or old, have no choice. But if they want a career in acting, they have to go and play those fucking roles. And it's so fucking depressing to see the same shit time and time and time again. I hate it.
Agreed.
Now tell me, let's have some good fucking examples recently, let's say in the last year or two, of women in film and why they're good.
Recently?
Yeah.
Let's start with Black Panther.
Okay.
The women were very well represented now, I reckon.
They were.
Yeah.
That was
independent.
That was a good film for not just women in that, was it? It's the same goes for black people represented in film as well. That they play the same characters every single time.
Yeah.
It's always the same, and you could probably do the same thing as you just said for women with black people, that there's probably about 20 characters they might play.
Yeah.
And it's always just so many stereotypes that have probably put into the world that people follow, and then there's people growing up, and because you look at that and you think, oh, that's what I should be, and it's like, no, it's flooding your brain with stuff that you should think outside of.
Yes.
It's just strange that it's one of those things that it's just easier so the audience can grasp the character. It's like, this guy, he's a black guy with a gun, or this woman, she's just wearing her underwear. Okay, she must be a stripper, or something. Like this. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the black guy with a gun, he's a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just sloppy writing. Sloppy.
It's sloppy writing, and I hate how traditional it is. Like, even films that I fucking love. Like, if I try and think of some of my favourite films, like, in in Scarface, Tony, like, Michelle Pfeiffer is actually maybe a good representation of femininity. She's the typical gangster's mole, which is like a cliche in the gangster film, okay. But I guess at least she stands up for herself and walks out on him. But ultimately, she's only in the film because she's an object for Tony to get. It's like, I will claim her, and that's me making my way up in the world. And yeah, when you do a critical reading of these things, you go, oh yeah, but it's criticising that way of life that it thinks that. But still, you got to play that character. It's not like, at no point was there any female on his level. There was either Michelle Pfeiffer, the love interest, his sister, who he monopolises completely, and his mother. Sister, mother, and lover, and that's it. But women only exist to be in relation to the man. You know, when this Me Too thing came out, the big criticism that I think it was Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, one of them two, came under was when they tweeted about it, they said, this could be our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. And it's the truth. The thing is, it's not, that's making women in relation to you. It's saying mother, sister, daughter. Fuck all of that. What if they're not any of that to you? Does that mean you don't give a shit?
Yeah.
If you two are fucking abused, I don't think, that could have been my brother, my son, my father. You don't even think that way. You think you don't do that to someone. You don't think about it in relation to yourself, and that's what films do. It's all about relation to the man.
Selfish, really, isn't it?
Very, very much so. We're having very serious conversations here.
We are.
Wow.
Very lovely.
Okay, this is a film I watched last night, and I know you two have definitely watched it before. It's Death Proof.
Yeah.
What do you think about representation of the women in that? Because that is a very strongly based film around women.
Actually,
the main
you know
7
what?
characters in that film
That
are
is a
all
very
women,
good film to talk about.
They're all women, aren't they?
It is a good film to talk about. Let's talk about it.
Because that film, I know Quentin Tarantino is probably not the best guy to try and make a statement.
About that.
But that film is like, these are the women who are stereotypes, who are following a kind of a storyline that a stereotypical woman would play in any film, and they're the ones who get killed off because they're no good. And then these women, strong women, who are playing roles you would never see, going on the front of a car doing stunts, and these are the ones who win because that's what we want to see. Is that the kind of thing he's trying to say in the film?
It's tricky. It's tricky, man.
I wouldn't say that was the message he was trying to get across, but
I really didn't like the film.
It's not a great film, to be honest.
I didn't like it because
great.
of, first of all, how annoying all the female characters are, but they were written that way, but they are so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
The only one that's interesting is Kurt Russell, the man in the film.
That's true.
But he's not really
interestingly
developed, though.
But
What's in the film, he's just got a car and he just does the same thing the whole time. Whereas
he says
the women,
good lines and stuff. The women, does any women have a good line in that?
No, but they don't. But they're the ones that actually develop as characters. A bit more in that. In the whole sequence, especially, let's talk about the end of the film. Then the end half, where they go pick up the car. So the last set of women, the last 4 with Zoe Ball and stuff in it. He just does the same thing he's done the whole film. There is no development of his character.
Zoe Bell.
Fatboy Slim's wife dropped the DJ headphones for a second and rocked up to the film.
Yeah, it's Zoe Bell, Adam.
That's what I said, didn't I?
You said Zoe Ball.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Fatboy Slim was on the decks during the film.
I thought I said Zoe Bell. But then the girls are the ones that develop in that sequence. They've manipulated the man at the beginning to get the car.
Yeah.
Then they've gone from almost being attacked, haven't they? They're the ones who are in danger to becoming overcoming and being more superior.
Yeah.
But again,
it's a very quick. It's about a half-hour scene, isn't it? The sequence itself. But that's still quite a lot within a. They are the ones in charge. They are the powerful people, as you're saying. That's not always represented in film.
But again, it's women in relation to a man. It's about them being stalked.
There's also relations with themselves. There's the 4 of them, isn't it? They're best friends. They're not being anyone's sister, mother, or lover, are they? They're being just.
Well, you are quite right on that. Yes, that is true. I hadn't thought about it that way.
And also, Tarantino did Kill Bill, for example, as well. I feel like he's a man who
I don't think that's a good
sexy.
representation. I don't think that one's a good representation because there's loads of sex and rape references and all that throughout it, and she gets revenge on people who raped her and whatnot and stuff. But then again, it's like it's revenge because of what you did to my femininity, rather than a strong female just being strong for the sake of strong. Like think about men who are strong in films, like Kill Bill, right?
It's a revenge film, isn't it?
Let's reverse everything in Kill Bill and make that a man whose wife fucked him over. That film ain't happening. Because, for one thing, actually, we don't believe that the wife would have been able to do that to the husband, and this man wouldn't have gone to this length to track down his ex-wife. Like, she defines herself by this man. The man, she has to get to the man to destroy him. And again, it's about her being a mother. The other character, the black woman, she's a mother.
True.
Yeah.
But I do think Tarantino's a little bit more progressive, because at least he puts fucking women in leading roles in his film. But then Hateful Eight, which we all loved, which was great, arguably that's really misogynistic. Because at the end, you're meant to be you're cheering for the fact that these two guys are hanging this woman.
Oh yeah, very true.
You are,
Yeah,
you
but-
are, aren't you? You're glad. They're like, "Fuck yeah, kill the bitch," and they're screaming. I swear they're screaming, "Kill the bitch" for about 15 minutes, and you want them to.
But again, isn't it that whole thing that you want them to not just be represented as a weak character? If you're that is putting them on equal terms, then, for example, you can maybe say same punishments,
Yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
You're not
No,
just
yeah.
Yeah, because I would say that she was probably playing a quite strong character in that.
yeah.
She was
I
her
found
own
her
woman.
highly annoying.
Yeah, she was
wanted her to
highly
die.
annoying, but she was
meant
like
to be
in a,
like
in a
that,
position of she was at a position of power, even though she was handcuffed for most of the film. But
Yes.
she was like her own person, and
She was
wasn't following
playing
a
all the
man's
rest of
rule.
them, wasn't she? If I remember correctly, was she? She was in charge of the group that where they turned, not the ones who were in the lodge.
I can't
They
remember.
just
I have
didn't
to
know
watch
that.
that film again. It's been a
I
while.
can't remember. I've only watched it once, but I think that was what I can remember.
Anyway,
In
let's move
terms
away
of-
from Tarantino. Unless
Can
you
I
want
just
to
say
go
one thing
Yeah,
on
go on.
Tarantino though?
Yeah.
Foxy Brown, even though I don't consider that to be one of his better films, actually that is probably a better representation
Foxy
of women
Brown?
because Foxy Brown, Foxy Brown, Jackie Brown,
I'm about to
Oh
say.
yes, Jackie Brown. Yeah, that was a good representation.
because she is, she's not necessarily, she's not a gangster. She can handle herself. And yeah, there's men around her that want to do stuff, but she's a career criminal, just like the guys.
Yeah,
and it just
yeah.
happens she's fucked someone over, and she is the woman that she is, and she is a love interest, but nothing actually happens. And it's
you're
not like
saying
he gets the girl.
that film, you could put a man in exactly the same role and it wouldn't change anything. You say
Well,
Well, I
you'd
mean, that's
probably
what you
think
wouldn't
they're
say.
a bit more diminutive, I guess.
that's what you want is a role that can be played by, let's say, both sexes, for example, and you really wouldn't have to change too much of their interest, the job, all that. So that's when it becomes equal. Then you are putting
Yeah.
it down to the character rather than just that person needs to be in that role.
But also, tell me some unique stories from the women's perspective as well. Do something unique.
Yeah,
You know, Terminator 2.
yeah,
Okay, so that is like a stereotypical strong woman, but she's a strong woman because she's in the typical man's role with lots of guns and whatnot and protecting her son. So she's strong because she's a mother protecting her son, and she's strong because she's got guns and she's tackling on the machine. And I do think it's a strong representation of women, but it's not like that's not the answer. It's not just I'll give them guns and make them kick
yeah.
ass, and that
She's
makes
not
them
really an
strong.
in-depth character.
Okay, what
No.
about Ben? Your film you're very excited to come out. Halloween. I haven't seen it personally. I haven't seen the original
Yeah.
one, but I know that it's all based around a female character, isn't it?
Well, see, this is interesting because in horror, typically it's the female who's in jeopardy from a male
Yeah.
monster in one way or another, and that's been the thing for a long time. And there's this modern day thing of, or not even modern day thing, always has been the final girl in horror films where you
The
introduce
virgin.
loads of characters, and it's normally the virgin who survives at the end or doesn't, but most of the time survives or defeats the monster. But there seems to be this tide turning, and this is the one thing that I'm nervous of with this new Halloween, because even though I'm all for women reclaiming things and whatnot, I have a feeling that in the light of the Me Too movement, and I know Jamie Lee Curtis's stance, is that this film will be more about her definitely fucking over Michael Myers, and that potentially might take away a bit of the fear factor. Because what's scary is, yes, the woman in jeopardy. It's true. That is a scary thing because, rightly or wrongly, women are considered more vulnerable. And when you're watching a film, a woman under being stalked is more vulnerable than a man being stalked. When you're watching it as an observer, you feel more fear. Or I would, anyway.
Yeah,
Okay. What about another film that's come out recently then, which took a massive stance on this, and almost to a reason why we didn't do a podcast on it? Predator.
oh yeah, casting the sexual predator.
In the film.
Sexual predator in The Predator.
Yes,
I mean, it's one of the reasons why, well, Ben especially said he didn't want to go see the film.
yeah.
Quite.
That was just a stupid decision.
But people
on
still think they
director's
can get
part.
away with it.
I know, it's like I don't even understand why he would do that. I don't know where that thought process came from.
Yeah, but see, also the thing that's bad is the rest of the cast sort of staying quiet about it. Only that one came out and spoke out about it.
Yeah,
I
like a
forgot
lot
her
of
name.
people have been coming out afterwards,
Yeah,
which
It's
is normally
always
what
hated
happens
the
because
one
everyone's trying
person
to back
to start.
themselves up.
yeah. But I don't know what the male equivalent would be, because we're all. That's why I say this is a bit weird, us talking about this stuff, because we can have these opinions, but we're in such a fucking privileged position. Like for us, all three of us are so fucking lucky, because when we go and watch movies, 9 times out of 10, movies are made for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their market audience. It's I don't know if it's white males, but it's definitely heterosexual males, normally in the 18 to 30 bracket, but I still consider myself under 30. And for anyone else, like imagine you were a black gay female.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, let me see some stories about myself. Let me see some stories I can identify with. I couldn't fucking tell you one that I've ever seen. Good luck with it.
Never going to see it.
You know the only thing that comes to mind? Again, TV show, Orange is the New Black. Well, oh yeah, that's true. And both TV shows, there we go.
And both Netflix films, who are both independent films designed to do exactly what they do there.
Now see, now David Lynch said, fucking art house cinema is dead. You want creativity, and the way forward, it's in the TV shows. And it is true. You're given license there.
Yeah.
I think that we are in the death throes of cinema, boys, as we know it, for original, unique, progressive storytelling.
People need to change up.
It's been 100 years of cinema, right? But you've got to think, there's going to be a fucking limit on how many stories can be told in that format. Over 2 hours. Nowadays, we're so accustomed to having 5 or 6 seasons of something, like you say, building up character, building up story, that I think it's the only way going forward.
I still think my argument with cinema or TV over cinema is when you watch a TV series, you live in that TV series. This is always what I say. You are, whether you're watching it for a week or you're watching it for a month, you watch an episode, you go away, you spend your day, you come back and watch it at night, and in that time you're mainly thinking about what happened in that episode and you're looking forward to the next stage. Whereas a film, you almost watch it, you think about it for an hour or two, maybe the next day, and then you it whittles out, whereas the TV series is your constant back and forth, waiting for the next one, and you kind of really immerse yourself in the world.
And it's half the time it's not about story development, it's about character development. So that's how they can get these unique characters in that actually have some depth to them.
And that's also why, you have episodes, Adam, you say it a lot, you go, nothing really happened in those episodes.
But they do really happen, though.
But it does, yeah. It's just like,
You've got to learn
exactly.
over time.
Yeah,
I learned
because that's why you cry at the end.
Twin Peaks did too many episodes and not a lot happening, though.
Shut up.
They did. You can admit, come on, Ben.
Let me smack you in the face and see what you
There was about 10 episodes of just...
It always goes back to Twin Peaks, isn't it? Just out of interest, would you like to name you some... On this website, there was loads of stereotypes of women that are portrayed in film. Just to show you how often this happens. Right?
Yep.
So, you have the trophy, which is a girl on the arm of the male. That's the only purpose they're there for. So that's like pretty much any Vin Diesel film. Like Triple X, when it's just like he's got the 2 women on his arm. Yeah. That kind of person. The Ice Queen. She's the cold-hearted, career-driven, but can't love at the same time. And as bad as it makes me feel, this is what Jurassic World was.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah. The awkward virgin, which everyone knows, the girl who because she's a virgin, she's obviously a geek. And she needs the man to bring her out of her shell and stuff like this. The disposable woman, only around to be killed, raped or kidnapped in order for the man to save her.
Yeah.
Every Bruce Willis film.
Yes.
Or Liam Neeson film.
Yeah, or pretty much most revenge sort of films.
Yeah. The psycho ex-girlfriend who dedicates her life to stalking the protagonist because it's clearly the only thing that she cares about.
Like in Carrie Fisher in Blues Brothers. That's what I remember it as. And
in, Fatal Attraction.
Yeah. The gorgeous klutz. She's so beautiful yet so clumsy, and she's totally relatable to every girl.
Bridget Jones.
Yeah. The femme fatale who always gets her own way. She's sexy and she knows it. She strings the male lead on and is very manipulating. Like Sharon Stone.
Casino, yeah.
Damsel in distress, so that's like every Disney film.
Yep.
The bitch incognito, who basically she starts off really warm and nice to the protagonist, and then in the end she's the bad guy because she's been manipulating the person the whole time, because she's obviously clearly not a nice person. And Mean Girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The manic pixie dream girl only exists to bring the introverted male out of his shell, and she's totally fancy, free-spirited and bubbly, and she doesn't exist. Like Zooey Deschanel from 500 Days of Summer.
Depressing, isn't it?
And then obviously like the gold digger, the sassy black woman, and the spicy Latina woman. They're all the same.
Yes.
They're always played as the same
You
characters.
are right, yeah.
It's crazy.
But, you know, a little bit of that is fine now and then. That's it. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have
Some films,
some of those
I'm not going to
things.
lie, they kind of needed it. It's the same probably
Yeah.
where a woman would need a man to play that role within a film that was female-based.
Exactly.
But
The
there is
gender
too much of it.
stereotypes will go both ways. Like action heroes and superheroes and stuff like that, you know.
But it's nice to see a twist on a stereotype.
It would be nice. Do you know, just one thing that occurred to me. I can't... Have you heard this film Peppermint that's coming out?
Yeah.
I
but
recognise the
really know
name,
much
but I
about
don't know why, though.
What's interesting about that, right? Okay, let me read this synopsis to you, yeah? 5 years after his wife and son are killed in a senseless act of violence, a man comes back from self-imposed exile to seek revenge against those responsible and the system that let them go free. Right?
Right.
Just sounds like any revenge movie that
film,
we've seen a million times before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think so, Adam?
Yeah.
I lied when I read that description.
Oh,
It's
I do
actually
know what
a
Peppermint
woman.
is.
Yeah, it's a woman who comes back after her husband and daughter are killed and gets revenge.
Is it,
Now-
what's her name?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner, yeah. I have seen that.
Now, see, that's interesting. Like, unlike Ocean's 8, where it's just like, let's get the women to do it, or Ghostbusters, let's get the women to do it. This is like, let's take a typical trope, a typical genre film where a man is always typically in that role, and let's put a woman in it. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Rather than, let's just make Ocean's 8 with women. Let's make fucking Friday the 13th with a woman.
Let's make
killer
Ghostbusters.
instead.
There's an episode of Always
Yes.
Sunny which is airing on Wednesday night.
Always sunny with you.
But this is relevant to this conversation here, where
Let's
is
have
they
it.
remade an episode they've already previously done, using exactly the same title, which is the Bogs Challenge.
Yeah.
But the Bogs time, and it's I can read the exact title to you, but they've done it's all based around women this time. So I feel like they are spoofing the whole women remaking the film, but it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it. It's The Gang Beats Bogs Ladies Reboot. That is the name of the episode.
That is interesting, yes.
So it's again, then they've been very this series. They've been very. They haven't gone down the comedy route so far as much. Well, they have, but they've been bringing it all into real life. Like the first episode was "Make Paddy's Great Again." And it's all like stuff
Really?
like that. So
They're very
it'd be
smart, those people.
They are.
Making
They're
it
having a lot
topical.
of fun with the show now, rather than being a little
Yes.
silly. Meaningful.
Very wonderful.
Going
Anyway,
back to that Peppermint though, I realised when you started talking about it, I'd seen the trailer and it did look really good.
I haven't even seen the trailer, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
Before we close up this topic, let's watch some good films with women in.
Juno.
I didn't like that.
I like
Highly annoying.
I liked
like
it the
that
first time I watched
See,
it, but I
this
didn't
is
like
why
it
these
the
films are never going to continually be made, because everyone disagrees.
I know.
I've been looking through my film
But-
collection in front of me while we think about this.
Let me just say about Juno. It actually has a character who is very well written, who's not a stereotypical girl. It's about a girl who's pregnant in school, and it's like she's an independent girl. She doesn't have Michael Cera there to tell her what to do.
Yeah.
She's like making her own decisions, and he's just going along with it. And it's
Okay,
nice.
yeah.
It was a good film. It's nice.
That's nice. Yeah, it is nice.
Go on then. What are you going to say, Adam?
Anime. Oh, fucking what? Can't
Amelie,
say it.
yeah.
Amelie.
Can't say her name correctly. But yeah, I
Amelie,
was like,
it's true.
Taxi Driver I looked out for, but no, again, that's the whole damsel in distress, isn't it? Baby
Yep.
Driver was a film I was thinking about, but again... It
No,
finishes
she's
with-
damsel in distress.
Yeah. Well, she promotes him forward, doesn't she? She's
Mad
taking him
Max.
out of the show. Mad Max?
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give
Charlize
that a go.
Theron. Very good.
Sigourney Weaver, always in the Alien films, is always iconic for femininity, because she, like, that first Alien film, the script was written for
a
it
man,
to be a
wasn't it?
man, and then they just cast her instead. But
Yeah.
that was what was so perfect, because all the way through, there's no reference to her being a woman or anything like that.
No.
That's true.
Even at the end, there's a scene with her.
In
The only things you can say is she's in her underwear and she's holding a cat. Which you could say, if it was a man, would the man have been holding a cat in his underwear in that?
Well, if that
final
was how
battle?
the script was written, then yeah.
Well, yeah, this is true. But in all of the films, actually, she's always a strong character. And yeah, they bring her femininity into it later, and she even mothers aliens in the fourth one. But she's always... She never needs saving by other people. She's always fucking doing it with them or against them sometimes. I like her very much. Sigourney Weaver, I wish was in more films. I love her. She's the best,
What about,
actually.
okay, let's go. Massive, series of films. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Representation of women.
Back in the day, Princess Leia was always being saved.
Being saved, yeah.
Yeah, she was.
She was captured
she was
as a slave.
portrayed to be the kind of
Darth Vader.
badass, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it always ended up that she needed saving still.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was just a series of films that... I'm just kind of waffling, not really going off on any thoughts here.
No, you're saying lovely things.
I'm just looking at films and just picking stuff out.
Yeah.
American Psycho, he's going to say next.
I did actually look at that, but I thought, no.
Do you know what's interesting about American Psycho, though?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, why? Are you doing all the A's, Adam? Is that why?
Well, I went for Star Wars, so that's not in the A section, is it?
Yeah, that's true. A New Hope. A.
You went for Alien, so...
Yeah, we are doing all the A's. You know the interesting thing about American Psycho, though, that you should say that?
Yeah, go on.
Directed by a woman.
It's true.
And he doesn't really... Does he kill a woman? No, he does, doesn't he?
He kills loads of women.
Yes, he does.
I can't even really... The first thing that came into my head was the bit with Jared Leto, so...
And has sex with two of them while showing his muscles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And says, don't just stare at it, eat it.
Oh, I do love
Okay,
that.
what about... A quick question. What about if you were to put a female in the role of Christian Bale in that film?
Now that would be fucking really interesting.
Okay, they did that
because there's
with
so many
Mila
things that
Kunis
he
in
does.
the sequel, and it was shit.
Yeah, but
I'm not talking about the
like
film
as a sequel
itself
as
being
his
shit. I'm
daughter.
talking about... There's just thing about the stuff he does, and what would happen if it was all done by... Like you just said, flexing his muscles and or looking yourself in the mirror, saying don't just look at it, eat it, all that kind of stuff. It's all...
They would change it if they did it as a female. What they would do is rather than a man going around picking up prostitutes and bringing them back, they would have a woman in a bar seducing a man, loads of sex appeal, taking him back and then killing, and then it would be about a femme fatale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know what the answer is. What we need is just more women writing and directing and
Yeah, it's
creating
true.
these
Get the
films.
women in.
That's what it is.
Have you seen Wonder Woman, Ben?
No. And that's not because I'm a sexist. I just don't watch superhero films, do I?
It's a great film, and it's directed by a woman.
And it's all
Now,
very
I've heard
female oriented.
I know, you spoke about this before.
Yes.
But they were talking about Batman and Superman and how she's going alongside them, but they're not even in the film.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And she is her own person.
Anything.
And she's the best part of Batman vs Superman, most likely.
But she is. She was the best part about the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have turned up in that film and probably been the best part about the film, but we won't go there.
And she's got to be absolutely beautiful.
But that is the character, because that is what it's based on.
But then you could say the same about Superman. Isn't he meant to be
I suppose, yes. I suppose
that's
they
just
all
superhero
are,
films in general, to be fair, I'd say.
What I don't like, I just don't like always... Anyway, this is a wider
Superhero
debate,
films are one of the worst examples of any
seeing,
film.
I don't like seeing beautiful people all the time on telly. It's boring because it takes me out of it, because it's like, this ain't real.
Do you just want Steve Buscemi, don't you?
It's exactly who I was thinking of. But see, it's a shame. Why are there no female equivalent Steve Buscemi's?
Just Steve Buscemi and Ben starring in a film.
Yeah.
But then it would be a whole point brought about the fact that he's not good. He wouldn't be good at looking, would it? The film wouldn't be normal. It would probably be a lot of references to you all being ugly. I reckon.
I know.
It's a strange industry.
It's just many stereotypes in films that are completely wrong.
Do you know what?
You can't put a stereotype in a film without mentioning that it's a stereotype.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
Or a minority, or whatever you call it, in a film without picking up that the fact that you've done this and then making objective remarks about that.
If you took a camera and filmed 2 hours of anyone's life, like if you had a camera on you for 2 hours today, right, and then we sat down and we watched that video, you would encounter different characters along the way. Maybe you don't encounter any women, maybe you only encounter one black guy, and in that encounter that black guy potentially says something aggressive to you, then you would say, oh, look at this guy's life. His life is not... He doesn't care about women. He doesn't hang around black people, so this guy's a race. He's not interested in telling that story. When actually, you might be interested in that, and you might have a wider circle than that. But it's just what you're deciding to focus on at that point isn't that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why, Paul? Actually, we've moved it slightly away from female, but this is why Moonlight I think was quite good, because it was a gay storyline which may have been seen before, but it was in that sort of ghetto black community, which fucking there's no film that I'm aware of that's like that. It's in that setting, so it was important because it was in that setting.
Yeah,
that's all I've got to say.
Right, I think that was a really nice discussion. It was a nice, serious discussion, guys.
It was nice. Wasn't it weird to have a serious discussion? We can do serious as well as fun.
Yeah, it's good.
And it goes to show that Adam, who's always really cheeky and rude about things, is very, very poignant.
Yes, and he can have a
Next
nice
week I'm going to have to make up for it. I'm going to
discussion.
say a lot of comments and interrupt and be stupid.
And you never said anything about
a lot of
whistling
female
dogs.
admirers now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no whistling dogs.
No, I couldn't. That wouldn't have fitted in well, no matter what I said.
It's true.
Right, should we move on to what we've been watching?
Do you want to find out what we've been watching, big boy?
Oh yeah, tell me. Tell me what's hot right now.
Mine will be quick because we already talked about Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And I also watched the other day the Catch Me If You Can, which I tried to watch about a year and a half ago and fell asleep after 30-40 minutes because I found it too slow. So I thought, let me give it another shot. And god damn, that's an overrated, boring piece of shit.
I have fond memories of that film.
I very much enjoyed it. The best, you know, my favourite part about that whole film is, and the only part I remember, is he had the phone, but he had the thing on the back of the phone so he could rest against his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he also escapes out the toilet of a plane, which I always want to try.
Yeah, I don't believe that is possible. I really simply don't. But anyway, I just found the film very boring, and I didn't like Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and I didn't really like Tom Hanks in it, which is weird. But I like Christopher Walken in it. But it was boring. Highly dull.
Okay. I don't really have much of an opinion on that film.
It wasn't much to talk about. And I also watched Sausage Party.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
You love Seth Rogen.
The reason I watched this, because I was getting high and I thought I want to watch something that will really amplify the high, right? And I thought, okay, Seth Rogen, stoner movie, Sausage Party, all this talking food, let's watch that, right? And I watched that, and the high did not kick in until the movie was over. So I kept waiting for it to kick in, and it didn't. But it wasn't that terrible, but I'm sure I would have enjoyed it a hell of a lot fucking more.
You should watch Rick and Morty next time.
I know. But then the high did kick in pretty much straight afterwards, so I watched Dunstan Checks In, and my goodness, you need to watch Dunstan Checks In when you're high. That is an experience, my friends, let me tell you. You must. Dunstan Checks In becomes so funny.
Is that on Netflix?
It was very funny anyway. No, I got it on DVD. Whipped that bad boy out and put it in. Had to.
I've just looked at it. I've never seen or heard of the film before. But there's a monkey in it, and there's loads of food you get it.
There's a monkey. It's great. It's a monkey loose in the hotel. Anyway, that's me.
Well, I watched Jarhead first time. Terrible film.
Very good. I like that.
Did you?
I remember it being fine.
I feel like it could have been a lot better. It tried to do something different in a war film. It kind of talked about more of a mental side of a war rather than an actual war. But I feel like it was a bit...
Oh, what a shame.
It felt a bit flat for me, to be honest.
Oh, dear.
I watched Network.
Oh, yeah? I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
And
Brian
it's
Cresson. Yeah, Brian Cresson's doing it. But it was also quite interesting to see, even back then in the 80s, when it was made, to see what they were trying to say about the media and whatever, and how it's still...
And fake news and shit.
Completely relevant now. And then the last film I watched, which is something Ben's watched, and I highly recommend everybody to go see, is The Black Klansman.
Yes, very good, very strong.
Tremendous film.
That. Tremendous film. We sent it to Donald Trump. Tremendous
film. That's not a good person to bring up in that film.
Because you said tremendous. That's his word, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's fake news.
But it is very good. We recommend seeing it. And once Paul has seen it, maybe we'll talk for 2 minutes.
We'll talk about it at the end of the film, the podcast.
I will definitely go see it.
Spike Lee is back.
That was yes.
Yeah, baby.
People even clapped at the end of the cinema.
Really?
Yes.
I watched Bodyguard. Well, I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm 3 episodes in.
You up to date?
I'm 3 episodes in, so don't spoil anything.
Not
for
last
me.
week's one then, okay?
And I haven't seen the fifth one.
now, I'm just enjoying the moment, but it's going to be very forgettable.
Absolutely.
I really don't want them to do a second series.
If they do, they're stupid.
I feel like there's too many series now that go to a second series. Just make a series really good in 6 episodes. Bam, almost like an extended film. Gives you enough time to do whatever you want with your characters, but then just finish it off and leave it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I've just been watching Ozark. Got 2 more episodes.
I've only watched 3 of them.
It's fine.
I've only watched 3 of them, and I can already feel it's going to be dragged out a very long time.
It's exactly what I thought. That's why I didn't want to buy in again.
How many episodes are there, Paul? Is there 10 of them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too shabby.
So it's getting better. I'm on episode 8, but it's not something that's going to be in my memory for a long time.
No.
I feel like the first season was a bit like that. It kind of blew up and then just died down, just fizzled out.
Yeah.
Right, and that's all I've pretty much been watching anyway. So shall we go on to letters?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Letters theme.
These 3 males just received emails.
Well, what are we supposed to do about it?
Fucking read them.
Yes, we got a letter from Eric Chapman, and he asked, if you were in any film and were to fall in love with a fictional female character, who would it be?
I've done a lot of thinking about this. Well, not a lot of thinking about this.
I bet you have.
But I'd say Princess Leia.
Oh, of course you would. Of course you would.
You're such a geeky.
And it's, but yeah.
You're such a geeky. Paul,
have you got one?
Because I'm still thinking, man.
Mine would be Romeo and Juliet, Baz Luhrmann's version, and Juliet, because I absolutely loved her. Of course. I loved her when I was younger.
Mine would have to be, no one will know this, Jenna Malone in a film called Cheaters, which is about a bunch of high school kids who cheat on a big maths quiz, and their teacher's involved, and they go to prison. And Jenna Malone was young at the time.
Fucking hell.
And I was young. They go to prison, and I was young.
Did you ever cheat on an exam because of that film?
No, I should have. I did cheat to get into a higher science class than I deserved to be in. Let's hope none of my teachers are listening.
That justice for all.
Yes, that bit too. Anyway, I got my bit in about Jenna Malone. I'll let you two finish it off, innit?
Okay. Right, you can get in touch with us too at FilmBustersPod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Or you can email us at filmbusters@outlook.com.
Whiskey dogs.
I
didn't get to say it, so I got to say it.
That was very nicely put.
You didn't put this on the end of last week's podcast. It's the only time that you really needed to put it on after the suggestion that we put out for everyone.
I know.
And also, you claimed my suggestion. That was my idea, so fuck you all.
Do you want to tell everyone the suggestion before we sign off?
Yes. If you didn't hear last week, we suggested that you recommend us a film to watch. It could be new, old, or whatever. And if you want us to review it, just put it in the comments section.
Yes, and it'll be beautiful.
It will be beautiful.
It's been a lovely podcast.
Goodbye, everybody. My time has come.
Adam's a prick.